The division headquarters is responsible for the planning, direction, and coordination of division combat operations, including the collection, collation, and analysis of information, and the dissemination of intelligence, the direction of active electronic warfare support, the coordination of artillery, air defense fire, and close air support, the coordination of combat engineer and tactical aviation operations, and for combat surface support activities. The Div HQ is too large and too vulnerable to be grouped in one location. It is therefore divided into a Div main, a Div alternate, and a Div rear headquarters. Communications and support are provided by the Division Headquarters and Signals Regiment. Located at Division Main Headquarters are the Commander and the Chief of Staff, the Intelligence and Operations Staff, selected Armed Aviation and Air Advisors, and an Administration Coordination Staff. The headquarters is supported by the Division Main Headquarters and Signals Squadron, which provides the communications, administration, and defense of the headquarters. The Div Main HQ covers the better part of a grid square and usually deploys off a main route in a wood, town, or village. It is sited to provide for good communication, concealment, access to routes forward, and a degree of security which permits the staff to work relatively unhindered. The operations area is the core of the headquarters complex. It contains an operations center, intelligence center, fire support coordination center, various arms, air, and aviation cells, an administration coordination cell, a plans cell, a communications access facility, and may include the Intelligence Collection and Analysis Center. Surrounding the operations area are other communications elements, administrative support elements, and living areas. An information post is located at the in-route, and pickets, security patrols, and surveillance detachments provide for the perimeter defense of the area. The main headquarters may be moved as the situation demands. A simple move takes approximately 6 hours, not counting traveling time. The tactical command post is a small element drawn from the Div Main HQ structure. It consists of a protection party, the Division Rover Group, command post APCs with staff officers, and an area trunk communications detachment. It deploys well forward of Div Main with a minimum of equipment. The TAC-CP enables the commander and a highly mobile staff group to exercise closer personal control over the battle. The TAC-CP generally remains on 2 hours' notice to move and can operate independently for up to 48 hours. The division alternate headquarters ensures the continuity of control when the division main headquarters is on the move or threatened by enemy attack. It is a separate facility containing the equipment and staff to maintain control until it is reinforced or until the main HQ reestablishes itself in a new location. The headquarters avoids detection by maintaining radio silence whenever possible. Also in location is the designated alternate division artillery headquarters. Div alternate HQ mirrors the activity of the main HQ and incorporates intelligence, operations, and services cells and arms advisors. It is sited similarly to the main HQ, with its communications, local administration, and defense provided by the DIV Alternate Headquarters and Signals Squadron. Division Rear Headquarters is responsible for coordinating the combat service support needs of the division. It detaches an administration coordination cell to DIV Main HQ to assist with the administrative aspects of ongoing and future operations. The DIV Rear HQ is located in the division administrative area and may be up to 30 kilometers from the DIV Main HQ. The Division Rear Headquarters and Signals Squadron provides the required communication facilities and personnel for local administration of this headquarters. The commander and his staff maintain effective command and control of the division's elements and operations through the use of the Automated Combat Information System, the Area Trunk Communications System, Combat Net Radio, the Signals Dispatch Service, a local intercommunication system, and through liaison officers. The Division Chief of Staff heads up the G2 and G3 staff and is the senior headquarters staff officer responsible for the direction and coordination of all staff activities. He helps the commander with decision-making and in directing and coordinating the execution of plans and orders. The Division G3 staff assists the commander in planning, directing, controlling, and coordinating division operations. The staff is organized into operations, plans, staff duties, NDC, liaison, and provost marshal cells. The G3 is the Chief of Staff Deputy. He understudies the Chief of Staff and assumes his responsibilities as necessary. He is responsible for the detailed coordination and direction of the G3 staff activities, including determination of intelligence requirements, estimates and casualty forecasts, preparation of operation orders and instructions, execution of operations, coordination of headquarters activities with the armed staff and other agencies, and release of controlled stores. The G3 operations understudies the G3 and will assume his responsibilities when required. He is responsible for overseeing the functions of LOs and staff advisors, directing headquarters moves and the defense of the operations area, liaison with other formations, and providing information on the combat capability of the division. G3 Plans is responsible for maintaining, controlling, and distributing all operational plans, and assists in writing plans, orders, and estimates. G3 Staff Duties looks after tables of organization and equipment, terrain control, and coordination of moves and deployments. The G3 Nuclear, Biological, and Chemical Operations is responsible for NDC plans, operations, and advice, predictions and measurement of contamination, and allotment of NDC resources. The division liaison officers represent the division commander's intentions and interests at various locations. The senior LO normally represents the commander at Corps headquarters. He coordinates the LO rosters and ensures the LOs are well administered and understand their duties. The division provost marshal is located at the main HQ and is responsible to the G3 for traffic control planning and advice on military, police, and traffic matters. He also provides a small cell to the DIV Rear HQ G1 staff, which assists with discipline and criminal investigation, punishment facilities, and PWs, stragglers, and refugees. The G2 staff provides the commander with the intelligence required to plan and conduct operations. This involves the timely estimate of the enemy's location, activities, capabilities, and intentions. The Division G2 is responsible to the Chief of Staff for the detailed activities of his section. Specifically, he is responsible for intelligence estimates and liaison, planning the conduct of counterintelligence operations, the intelligence collection, surveillance, and target acquisition plans, coordinating recce requests, analysis of all information, disseminating intelligence, meteorological, and terrain information, distributing maps, geographic information, air photos, and code words and nicknames, assisting in the preparation of the deception plan, and providing advice on PW, ECM, and ECCM. His staff breaks down into an operations cell, an estimates cell, and a special material control cell. The G2 operations supervises the G2 duty staff in the division main CP. He effects liaison and coordination with the other staff sections, the main CP, and with the intelligence company. He works closely with the G3 Ops and the FFCC, and is primarily concerned with priority intelligence support to current operations. G2 Estimates is responsible for the production of intelligence estimates and for support to future operations. In this position, he works closely with G3 Plans. The Administration Coordination Cell is provided from the resources of the Assistant Chief of Staff Administration at Div Rear HQ and is detached to the Division Main HQ. It provides the Main HQ operations staff with combat service support advice on current operations and keeps the ACOS ATOM informed on pending activities. The headquarters of the Commander Division Artillery is located near the Div Main HQ. The CDA advises the division commander on all artillery matters and provides the resources to establish the Division Fire Support Coordination Center.
All guns will be under command of the CDA.
The Fire Support Coordination Center is directed by the G3 Artillery Operations. It is co-located with the Div Main HQ Operations Center. The FFCC provides advice on the use of all fire support resources. It plans and coordinates fire support, air defense, and airspace control within the division, and allots fire support resources to meet the commander's plans. Communications links are provided from the FFCC to all available fire support agencies by the division headquarters and signals regiment. The Aviation Cell functions under the Commander's Division Aviation. It provides advice on the use of assigned and available aviation resources and coordinates aviation support to the division. The Air Cell is manned from the supporting Air Force Tactical Air Control Party, headed by the Division Air Liaison Officer. It handles requests for close air support missions and provides advice to the staff on offensive air support matters. The Signals Cell is headed by the Commander Division Signals, who coordinates the activities of the Headquarters and Signals Regiment. The Division Operations Staff ensures that the cell is kept informed of the operational situation and of its staff requirements. The Commander Division Engineers advises the Commander on all engineer matters. He maintains a permanent engineer liaison detachment at Division Main Headquarters, which ensures continuous engineer information is available to the division staff. The detachment's responsibilities include coordinating staff work with Div HQ staff on barrier plans, execution of preliminary and reserve demolitions, employment of scatterable mines, and terrain control for engineer units, maintaining accurate records of engineer work, and keeping Div HQ staff informed, and ensuring headquarters CDE is kept advised of all requests for engineer assistance. Division Rear Headquarters is commanded by the Assistant Chief of Staff Administration and consists of the G1, G4, and G5 staff, specialist staff, and services advisors. The ACOS Adams is responsible to the division commander through the Chief of Staff for organizing, directing, and supervising the division administration staff. He assists the Chief of Staff by drafting administrative plans and orders, and in directing and coordinating their execution. He keeps the Commander and Chief of Staff advised of combat service support considerations which could affect operations. The G1 staff assists in the personnel administration of the division, particularly with manning, and the employment, discipline, and well-being of the soldier. The G1 staff includes the G1 Personnel Administration, Division Surgeon, G1 Dental, Division Assistant Judge Advocate General, Senior Chaplain, and the Public Information Officer. The G1 Personnel Administration Cell is responsible for personnel management and services, which include manpower allocation, personnel evaluation, promotion, posting, replacement, personnel records, investigation, service discipline, redresses, casualty reporting, honors and awards, graves registration, recreation and leave, institutes and amenities, pay and postal activities, PWs and stragglers. The division surgeon provides medical advice and plans on medical treatment and evacuation, and coordinates the employment of division medical resources. G1 Dental is responsible for providing advice, determining priorities for dental care and treatment, and coordinating employment of division dental resources. The Assistant Judge Advocate General advises the commander on Geneva Convention's requirements relating to targeting objectives and weapons types, treatment of PWs and civilians, discipline, and administrative procedures. In addition, he and his staff provide advice to commanding officers and to the troops on disciplinary, administrative, and legal matters. The division senior chaplains provide advice, coordinate chaplain resources and administration, and supervise all ecclesiastical matters. The public information staff is responsible for advising on public information activities, establishing security measures which relate to the dissemination of information, operating a public information center, arranging for military escort and accreditations of the media, and preparing news releases for the troops. The G4 staff assists the commander with arrangements for the logistics aspects of combat service support, specifically supplies, accommodation, maintenance, and administrative movement. The G4 staff are subdivided into operations, supply, transport, and maintenance cells. The G4 is the ACOS Adams deputy and is responsible for administrative estimates, orders, and instructions, advising the G3 on provision of additional logistic resources, logistic installation and unit location, grouping and employment of logistic elements, and arranging the acquisition of material and services from local resources through the G5. The G4 operations staff is generally responsible for developing administrative orders, instructions, policies, and directives, preparing logistics estimates, obtaining additional logistic support, providing specialist advice, coordinating locations for logistic units as well as their employment, deployment, and grouping, coordinating the operation of commodity points, developing the administrative portion of the division SOPs, and Coordinating G4 staff activities. G4 Supply is involved in planning, coordinating, and controlling the provision of supply and decontamination services to the division. Controlling the issue of material in short supply. Coordinating the issue of controlled stores on direction of the G3. And supply policy and advice to units. G4 Transport is responsible for planning and coordinating all transportation resources, planning and coordinating administrative movement, directing and coordinating movement control services and facilities, and providing advice and technical control of transportation activities in subordinate units and formations. The G4 maintenance duties encompass planning, coordinating, and controlling maintenance activities, developing repair parts scaling, directing, coordinating, and disseminating technical corrective measures and information, and providing maintenance policy, technical direction, and advice to units and formations. The Artillery G1 G4 staff from Division Artillery Headquarters is located at Div Rear HQ. Its primary concerns center on the replenishment and maintenance of the division's artillery units and on ammunition resupply. An Engineer G4 representative from Headquarters CDE is also located at Div Rear HQ. He is primarily concerned with the provision and flow of special stores and equipment to the division engineer unit. The G5 staff breaks down into an operations cell and a plans cell. These cells assist the commander in the development and execution of policies relating to local national authorities and the civilian population. G5 responsibilities may include preparing civic estimates and the civic portions of administrative plans and orders, assisting in establishing military government agencies when required, and assisting other staff branches in dealing with national authorities and the civilian population. They may also deal with population movement control, refugees, rear area security, and particularly damage control problems, coordinating mutual engineering and logistics assistance, and procurement of local accommodation and material. One of the tactical command, control, and information systems placed at the disposal of the staff is the Automated Combat Information System. The ACIS receives information and intelligence from a variety of sources, which can be recalled, displayed, updated, and disseminated to commanders and their staff. Once decisions are taken, the system is used to issue directions, monitor feedback, and to control operations. The ACIS is made up of operations, intelligence, fire support, air defense and airspace control, and administrative subsystems. Each subsystem is interconnected to allow the sharing of data and exchange of information by division main, alternate, and rear headquarters, and by other division elements, subordinate units, and formations. The ACIS functions on secure data links. It is integrated into the area trunk system and has access security in the software and at the terminal. The operations subsystem incorporates user terminals for the various commanders and their staff. Information is displayed for review by the duty officer, who evaluates, stores, updates, and distributes it as appropriate. The intelligence subsystem allows rapid access by intelligence staffs at all formation headquarters to stored information, with sorting, collation, and extrapolation to suggest possible trends. It receives information from the intelligence cells, sources, and sensors, recce units, the FSCC, the EWCC, and from maneuver formations and units. This information must be evaluated, coordinated, and entered into the database. In addition, the G2 can display urgent information on terminals of other subsystems. The fire support subsystem parallels the artillery command and control system and is used by the FSCC to assist in detailed fire planning, coordination of fire support, and to optimize the use of resources. It integrates the wide range of direct, indirect, air, and aviation fire support resources. The terminals are capable of specific fire support data manipulation and are located at FSCCs at all levels. The Air Defense and Airspace Control Subsystem inputs data from radars, sensors, and various headquarters terminals. It integrates the air defense systems with artillery, air, and aviation resources. The administrative subsystem allows the G1, G4, and G5 staff to manipulate their data. User terminals are located at all administrative installations and headquarters. The division is the basic combat formation on the battlefield. Its diversified staff and various advisors provide the advice and assistance to coordinate and control ongoing operations. The division headquarters is structured so that the commander can operate well forward and be personally involved in the battlefield direction of his combat element.